Hola amigos! Today I wanted to give you some lesson ideas about Semana Santa and Easter. So I'm going to give you 5 ideas that you can maybe incorporate into your lessons this year. So number 1 idea is to do an entire lesson on Semana Santa. So I have a PowerPoint lesson that I've created for my classes that you can use. It has beautiful pictures of Semana Santa in Guatemala, where they make the sand carpets, the beautifully intricate sand carpets, and I'll leave a few pictures up there for you. So that is lesson idea number 1, is to teach the traditions and culture of Semana Santa in your class. Lesson idea number 2 is to use a worksheet and let students research about Semana Santa. So this worksheet that I've created has 15 questions, and students would look up the information about Semana Santa and they would just fill in the answers. It is in English, so it could be appropriate for beginning level students. So that's one way you could use it, but I designed it to also go along with the PowerPoint. So the way I'm going to use the two together this year is I'm actually going to be absent near Easter. So what I'm going to do is assign as a substitute assignment the PowerPoint, and students will have to answer the questions on this sheet for their assignment. So we're going to move on to idea number 3. Lesson idea number 3 is to let students color a representation of the alfombras in Guatemala. So I created both of these. I actually created them to go along with the PowerPoint, the worksheet, and then they get a taste for how intricate these sand carpets are, because these are highly detailed, and they just color them as if they're making the sand carpets in Guatemala. So that is lesson idea number 3. Moving on. So lesson idea number 4 is a fun one, but I haven't used it in years. So what I did when I taught Spanish 1 is I had Easter eggs, and on one side of the Easter egg, I would write the Spanish version of the vocabulary word. On the other one, I would write the English. Then I divided my class in 2. I gave one side of the class all of the Easter eggs. They were all broken up, and they had to go hide them in class, while the other half of the class was outside studying the vocabulary. What I would do is I would stand in between so I could watch both sides. Then the class that hid them would come out into the hall, and then I would have a stopwatch and I would time group number 1, how long did they take to find all of the matches and put them together correctly? And then we would just flip roles. So it was a great way for them to practice vocabulary in a very different way. It was during testing season, so we needed something to be exciting, something to keep their attention, and something to get them moving, because when they're testing, they're in their seats for such a long periods of time. So that is lesson idea number 4, and we're moving on to my final lesson idea. All right, lesson idea number 5 is if you don't have a whole class period to dedicate to something to do with Semana Santa or Easter, you could just incorporate some color by conjugation. So I've created several of these in different formats. They're all in beautiful pastel Easter colors. So all that they are pages where students have to look at the conjugation of the verb and then match it to a color code that is at the bottom with the pronoun. So it's a great way for them to practice verbs in a way that's not a worksheet. So it feels like it's fun, but they're still getting the repetition of all the verbs. By the way, I just created this year a growing bundle that has all of the Easter egg color conjugations in one bundle. And what a growing bundle is, I put everything in there, but then I'm still in the process of creating more. So let's say it's got all of these in it. It's got 6 or 7 different eggs in it. And so I would set it at a price for, let's say, 7 of the color by conjugation pages. If you bought it at 7, then you're paying the discounted price, because it is a bundle, for 7. But then anything that I add to it, you actually get the extras for free, because anytime that I update the bundle, then I notify you that I've added extra things. So as I add to the bundle, the price goes up. So it's a way for you to get in and get some extra color by conjugation pages without having to pay for them. So it's an extra discount when you do it that way. So just wanted to let you know that that was available. But if you just teach one level, you might just want to pick out for that level those different, because I have Spanish 1, Spanish 2, and I'm creating some Spanish 3. But if you teach several levels, it might be best for you to buy the bundle. So those are my 5 lesson ideas for Easter. I hope that you can use one of them. These are things that I've used and still use. I sometimes rotate them. Sometimes I use all of them. Sometimes I just use a few of them. But I hope it's helped you have some ideas for the holiday coming up. And I hope you have an awesome week. Happy teaching and adios.